Hi, I'm Hilary Davis. I study and teach Anusara yoga. This is a 30-minute home practice focusing on Anusara's first principle, which is open to grace. First principle is an invitation to notice your connection to the earth, to approach the opening of each shape soft, receptive, and available, both in your attention and in your physicality. You'll want 2 blocks and a blanket if possible, as well as your yoga mat. We'll take a good seat together and get started. You can use your props, a blanket or a block, to elevate your hips slightly so that your knees come down to the level of or just below your hips. Roll your shoulders up and back. Rest your hands gently on your lap. Close your eyes and deepen your breath. Float your eyes open. Reach your arms out beside you, palms open towards the front of your space. And with a full breath in, reach your arms up towards the sky. And with a long breath out, release your hands down to your sides. Do that twice more, asking the pace of your breath to match the pace of your movement and the quality of effort to match the quality of your breath. So you spend your whole inhale reaching up and the length of your exhale, releasing your hands down to the earth. Keep your right fingertips on the earth. Reach your left arm alongside your ear. Roll your right shoulder up and back, side body long. Ground through your left knee and through your left hip as you reach through your fingertips. Come back to center and to the second side. Left fingertips to the earth. Right arm reaching alongside your ear, front of your throat open, back of your neck long. Come back to center. Reach your arms up overhead again and place them wide so that you can feel your shoulder blades broad across the back body. Interlace your fingers behind your head and send your head gently back into the grip of your hands. Elbows wide. Gently traction the back of your head up towards the ceiling or the sky so you're lengthening the back of your neck. And feel your hips and your feet heavy. Reach your arms up overhead again. Exhale your hands down to your sides. Make your way to tabletop position. And in your all fours position, spread your fingers nice and wide. And you set the intention with your foundation to open to grace. You soften your elbows and your attention, relax your jaw. You might walk your knees back an inch or so to lengthen the space between hips and shoulders. Curl your toes under and hover your knees just an inch off of the floor. Feel your belly engage. Set your knees down and now really relax your hips and your belly. Circle your hips back and to the right, sending your hips towards your heels, across the midline and to the left until your shoulders come forward and perch over your wrists again. And do that in opposite directions a few times, circling one way and then the other, lengthening the spine, feeling into the joints and muscles of the arms, grounding your sacrum towards your heels, and rounding forward to center again. Lift your hips and ground your heels, find downward dog. Pedal gently from side to side. And first you just arrive in the general shape. And then you build a structure that will support you. So press down through the knuckle at the base of your pointer finger. Hug your forearms and your shins towards the midline. Press your biceps gently away from your ears and move the tops of your thighs further back. Ground your tailbone towards your heels, belly strong. Press from the root of your heart, the space between your shoulder blades, out through your fingertips. and all the way back down through your heels. As you exhale, let your knees release to the floor. Shift your weight forward, elbows skim your ribs, come all the way to your stomach, rest your forehead, and take a deep breath. And with your side body long and your attention spacious, anchor your feet into the floor, heavy knees, heavy hips. Take a gentle back bend. Press your head gently back as if you're lining up the back plane of your head with the back plane of your body. Release down. With a full breath in, press up and back, pass through tabletop. On your way to downward dog, lift your hips, ground your heels, open into the backs of the legs. Feel your calves and your hamstrings. Walk your feet forward to forward fold. And 3 times with your breath, inhale to look up and lengthen, and exhale to soften and fold. Full breath in, more space between your shoulders and your hips. Long breath out, let gravity relax you down. One more time, full breath in, look up and lengthen. Long breath out, soften and fold. Place your hands again, step your right leg back and find a straight leg lunge. Fingertips framing your front foot on the floor or on blocks. You can always take a low lunge variation of any of these standing shapes by releasing your back knee to the floor. With the back thigh lifted, soften your back knee and feel your weight settle over your foundation. Then hug your legs towards the midline as if the front heel were to draw back and the back heel to draw forward. Inner thighs hugging towards one another. Let your hips lift an inch as if you're deepening your hip creases. Then let them settle and press from your left hip down into the ball of your front foot, from your right hip through your back heel. Place your right hand wide. It can come off of the mat. You take up more space. Open your foundation. Reach your left arm alongside your ear. Full stretch. Rest your head back. Open the front of your throat and let it feel good. Release your left hand down, back knee to the floor. Take a runner stretch, rock your hips back, pick up your toes. You might have to heel toe your front foot further forward to find the place where you can lengthen the leg, flex your foot, reach your toes back towards your face as if you're really flexing into the foot, and then press through the ball of the foot like you're pressing on a gas pedal. Lengthen your spine and drape your upper body down over your front leg. Bend into your front knee, plant your foot, place your blocks just off the mat, and make your transition. You can either step back through tabletop or press right back up into downward dog. Locate your breath, soften your face, step your right leg forward, second side. Choose whether you want that knee down low lunge variation or hands on your blocks to create more space. And you soften again with a deep breath. And then hug in, get strong. Let your hips lift. Let them soften down. Make your belly strong. Place your left hand wide. Reach your right arm alongside your ear. Press through your back heel and down through the ball of your front foot. Release your right hand down, back knee down. Rock your hips back, pick up your toes, runner stretch. You can use your blocks to lengthen the space between your hips and your shoulders and create more room for the breath. And then soften again. You let gravity do its part. Soften the space between your shoulder blades. Let your heart drape down over your leg. Bend into your front knee, plant your foot, place your hands. You choose your transition, either working through tabletop or right back up into downward dog. Shift your weight forward either through plank or knees down plank. As you exhale, make your way to your stomach. For this belly back bend, place your hands wide, fingers tented, elbows high, hands out far enough in front of you so that you can see them in your peripheral vision. We'll take Queen Cobra. Take a deep breath. Feel it expand you in all directions. Then anchor your feet and your knees. Imagine the hips broadening across the backside of the body. Then anchor your tailbone towards your heels and lift your heart. Pull back through your hands so that you're drawing your heart forward through the space between your shoulders. Release down. Place your hands like cobra, curl your toes under. As you inhale, press up and back. Pass through tabletop, lift your hips, ground your heels, downward dog. Walk your feet forward to forward fold. And take a gentle side body stretch. Bend into your right knee and walk your hands to the right. Press your left leg towards straight and draw back through your left hip. Press through your left fingertips. Walk your hands across center and to the other side. Bend into your left knee. Press your right leg towards straight. Press out through your right fingertips. Come back to center. Ground from your hips into your feet to rise. Reach your arms all the way up overhead. Bring your hands together at your heart. Close your eyes. Take a breath that lifts your heart towards your hands. Soften your knees. And gather your attention into the current of your breath again. With your next breath in, take your arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, forward fold, fingertips to the earth. Full breath in, look up and lengthen. Long breath out, soften and fold. Place your hands, step back to tabletop. You don't need to turn on your mat, but I'll turn towards you for a better profile of this shape. Extend your right leg out beside you, off of the mat, right foot in line with your left knee. Stack your joints through your left arm, shoulder over wrist. Bring your right hand to your hip or reach your arm up towards the sky. Press from your left shoulder into the floor and reach from your right shoulder out through your fingertips. Release your right hand down. Step your right leg in to meet your left. Step your left leg out, second side. Right hand plants, left hand to hip, or reach your arm up towards the sky. Release your left hand down. Step your left leg in, right leg out again. This time start to rock your hips forward and back. And as you rock your hips back, your right hip externally rotates so that the toes point up towards the ceiling. As you rock your weight forward, your right foot plants. So feel into the range of motion in your hip, gently opening as you send your hips towards your left heel. Right toes pick up off of the floor. The next time your shoulders come over your wrists, plant your foot, then slide your hands back, hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders up and back again, and feel your foundation settle. So if the knee is uncomfortable, pad it with a blanket. You can also adjust your stance to come more forward towards the top of the knee. Walk your right hand down your leg. Reach your left arm alongside your ear. Take a full breath back to center, left hand towards the mat. Reach your right arm alongside your ear, side plank variation. Reach your top arm alongside your ear like side angle to lengthen the side body and feel the points of contact where you're connected to the earth. Feel your breath expand you in all directions, and if it feels good, lift your top leg. Reach your limbs long. Release your top leg if it's lifted. Walk your hands forward and rock your weight forward this time so that your hips drop down towards the floor like you're coming towards an up dog variation with this asymmetrical foundation in the legs. Pay attention to any information communicated to you by your low back. You can take gentle variations of this shape. Step your right leg in, second side, extend your left leg long. And as you rock your hips back, toes open towards the ceiling, rock your weight forward, foot plants. You're externally rotating the left leg, left hip as you rock your hips back and planting the foot as you shift forward. The next time you plant your foot, slide your hands back, hands to hips, roll your shoulders up and back and settle. Slide your left hand down your leg, reach your right arm alongside your ear. Breathe through center, release your right hand down, left arm reaches long. And you choose, you can stay there or pick up the top leg, reach your limbs long in all directions, really press from your right hip into your knee. Feel the breath expand you in all directions as you inhale and condense around the center as you exhale. Release your foot down, walk your hands forward again like tabletop, and rock your hips forward, dropping them down towards the floor, gentle back bending like upward dog. Hips press back towards your heel. Shift your hips forward, drop them down towards the earth. Step your left leg in and come back to your tabletop position. Walk your hands forward and down for puppy pose. Start with your forearms on the floor and feel a gentle stretch in the backs of your arms. Let the shape be passive so that you cultivate this quality of receptivity in your body and in your attention. And then you take part in the process. You spread your fingers and tent them, lift your forearms off the floor, hug your forearms in towards the midline, press your biceps gently away, anchor your tailbone towards your heels, press from your shoulders into your fingertips, long spine. Release that, come back to tabletop, place your hands, curl your toes under, lift your hips, downward dog. With a full breath in, extend your left leg up and back behind you, hips square, toes pointing down towards the earth. Compact your outer right hip towards the midline. Draw your left leg forward, straight leg lunge again. This time lift your heart and roll your shoulders up and back. If this feels too constricted, you can always bring your hands up onto blocks to create more space in the upper body. Lift your hips and press your left leg towards straight, folding into a pyramid variation with the back heel lifted. Bend into your front knee and lift your heart. Press your front leg towards straight and fold. Bend into your front knee and lift your heart once more. Either release the back knee to the floor or take a high lunge, pressing from your hips into your feet to take your arms up overhead. Soften your back knee and feel your hips settle down towards the ground. See if you can keep that grounding action in the pelvis even as you press your back leg towards straight. Bend more into your front knee, hug towards the midline with strength in your legs. Draw your arms down into cactus and you choose. You can stay here, or if the low back feels steady and safe, stable, strong belly. You can tip your elbows forward and up and lean back. You can stay there or reach your arms back, full stretch. Press from your hips into your feet, big reach out through your fingertips. Draw your spine back to neutral, reach your arms up once more. Hands down to the blocks or the floor, gentle twist. Right hand on the floor, reach your left arm alongside your ear. Press from your hips through your heels. Release your left hand down, back knee down. One more runner stretch. Pick up your toes, flex your foot, and fold. You can stay here or take a twist in your runner stretch with your right hand on the earth, left hand to hip, or reaching up towards the sky. Hips gently hugging towards the midline, then pressing from your hips back through your feet. Release your left hand down, bend into your front knee, plant your foot, place your blocks just off the mat, choose your transition, make your way back to downward dog. Connect your attention to your breath. And let a full breath in send your right leg up and back behind you. Hip square, foot flexed, outer left hip compacting towards the midline. Left knee pointing towards your second toe. Step your right leg forward, find your straight leg lunge. Bring your hands to the blocks if that gives you more spaciousness in your upper body. Roll your shoulders up and back, lift your heart. And when you roll the shoulders up and back, take care not to pin the scapula, the shoulder blades together. You stay broad and spacious across the upper back, long in your side body. Press your front leg towards straight, lift your hips and fold. Drape your upper body forward and down. See if you can draw the sensation into the IT bands and the outer hip. Bend into your front knee, lift your heart. Press your front leg towards straight and fold. One more time, bend into your front knee, lift your heart, and you choose either back knee down or lifted. Press from your hips into your feet to reach your arms up towards the sky. Draw your arms down into cactus, and you take a variation that feels stable and safe to you. Softening the back knee, let the hips settle, then straighten that leg, bend into your front knee, tip your elbows forward and uplift your heart like you're drawing your heart to the surface. Reach back, look back, press from your hips into your feet, full stretch. Draw your spine back to neutral, reach up. Release your hands down to your blocks or the floor, back knee to the floor. Oops, let's not skip that twist. Lift the back thigh again, left hand just off the mat, reach your right arm alongside your ear. Release that, back knee down, find your runner stretch. Pick up your toes, flex your foot, and gently twist. Left hand to the floor, right hand to your hip, or reaching up towards the sky. Release your right hand down, bend into your front knee, place your blocks off the mat. Step back to tabletop and take child's pose. Knees wide, heavy feet towards your heels. If your forehead doesn't rest comfortably on the floor, place it on a blanket or a block and relax. Walk your hands back and bring your right leg forward into a low lunge. Back knee on the floor, hands to the top of your thigh. Let your weight settle. Then press your hands gently into your leg to draw your waistline up and back. Uncurl your back toes and press down through the top of your foot. Take your arms up overhead. Ground the front hip towards the earth like the glutes are scooping towards the earth. And gently clasp your left wrist with your right hand. Stretch up and over to the right. Keep sending your front knee towards the pinky toe side of your foot. Side body long. Deep breath back to center. Full breath in to reach up. Release and switch sides. So your left leg steps forward for low lunge, back knee down, and you soften. Then press your hands into the top of your thigh to roll the waistline back, shoulders up and back, uncurl the back toes, press down through the top of your foot, reach your arms up. Gently clasp the right wrist with your left hand and stretch up and over to the left. Press your knee towards the pinky toe side of your foot, side body long. Reach up once more. Release your hands down. Step back to tabletop and take downward dog. Step your left leg forward and ground your back heel for triangle. With your hands on a block or the floor, press your left leg towards straight and bring your right hand to your hip. Your left hand can be holding the shin, the ankle, or placed on the pinky toe side of your foot. Keep your right hand on your hip or reach it up towards the sky. And then soften. Remember that when we get specific about a shape, it's in service to the opening of your heart. So you relax first, then make muscle, deepen the hip creases, roll your left glute beneath you, press from your hips into your feet, reach out through your fingertips, full stretch. Bend your front knee, rise to warrior two. If you're gripping with your toes, soften that. As you inhale, straighten your front leg and reach your arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend your front knee and soften back to warrior two. Let your back heel lift, pivot towards the front of your mat, place your hands and step back, downward dog. Step your right leg forward, second side. Ground your back heel so that the instep of your left heel is in line, the instep of your left foot is in line with your right heel. Left hand to your hip, deep breath to settle. Then make muscle, hug towards the midline, roll the thighs in, back and apart, scoop your right hip underneath you towards the earth, press from your hips into the floor, reach out through your fingertips. Soften your front knee as you rise, warrior two. Press your right leg towards straight, reach your arms up towards the sky. Bend into your right knee, warrior two. Pivot the back heel towards the sky, hands down, place the block aside, back knee to the floor. Step back to tabletop. Roll one hip towards the floor to come to a seat. Extend your legs out in front of you. And if you know that you like to have a rolled up blanket beneath your hips for some elevation and seated forward folds, you can set yourself up with that lift. Use your hands to widen your feet so that you feel your sits bones in contact with the floor and bounce your knees. Place your fingertips on the floor beside you and make the whole shape strong. Press your heels down, engage your thigh muscles, draw towards the hips, belly strong, back of your hips heavy, shoulders up and back, press your hands into the floor, extend the crown of your head towards the sky, and soften. And walk your hands forward any amount. Again, minding any information from the low back. You can also let there be a bend in the knees so that you're emphasizing the length of the spine rather than straight legs. And notice how the sensation changes as you soften your head and your neck. Walk your hands back, roll up to center. Take a deep breath, roll your shoulders. Fold your right leg in so that your foot is facing the left thigh. Place your left forearm on a block or the floor to the inside of your left leg. Press your left arm gently into the leg to spin your chest open. Reach your top arm alongside your ear. Full breath back up to center. Place your right hand on the floor beside you. Roll your weight into your right shin. Plant your left foot. Lift your hips. Front of your throat open. Back of your neck long. Turn your heart up towards the sky. Turn the corners of your lips up. Press from your right shoulder into the earth. Release your hips down and switch sides. Extend your right leg long. Left leg in, sole of your foot facing your right thigh. And you choose either connecting the right forearm to the earth or on a block. If it feels too constricted, especially in the right side body, gentle pressure through your right arm against your leg turns your chest open, top shoulder opens towards the ceiling. Reach your top arm alongside your ear and ground through your left hip, out through your left knee. Deep breath up to center. Place your left hand on the floor behind you. Lift your hips. Send your weight into your left shin and your right foot. Reach back. Look back. Open it up. Release your hips to the floor and lie down on your backs. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Then take a gentle clasp, holding your left wrist with your right hand. And first, just notice your body's response to reaching the horizontal plane. Open to grace and gravity. And plant your feet for a gentle back bend. Find bridge pose, either with arms along your sides, palms pressing down, or arms bent, palms facing one another. Press from your hips into your feet to lift your hips into the air. Press your chest gently towards your chin. Keep your head and neck at neutral. Soften the glutes. Pull your heels towards your hips, then press from your hips to the balls of your feet. You can stay here or shift your weight into your right leg. Hug your left leg in towards your body, then extend it up towards the ceiling. Hug it in towards your chest, place it down, reset, shift your weight into your left leg. Hug your right knee in, extend your right leg up towards the sky. Release it down, hips to the floor. Place your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees fall together, hands to your belly. Close your eyes and feel. Place your feet parallel again. Hug your knees in towards your chest and take a supine twist, dropping your knees to the right. Open your arms, palms up, shoulders rest back towards the earth. You can place your right hand on top of your left leg to ground the legs to the right and feel the left shoulder heavy towards the earth. Be nourished by your inhale and soften as you exhale. Hug your legs in towards center and roll the knees to the left, open arms. You can use your left hand to ground the legs, right shoulder heavy, relax your head and your neck. Come back to center. Release your feet to the floor. Keep your right foot planted. Hug your left leg in, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, and press your left leg towards straight. Ground the thigh into the grip of your hands and gently resist with the strength of your arms. Release, switch sides, take the grip, extend your right leg towards the sky. Release that, set your right foot down, and take happy baby. Reach your hands between your legs to hold your feet. You can rock from side to side. Now bend one knee more deeply as you press the opposite leg towards straight. from side to side. Release that and take any last movement to set yourself up for Shavasana. You can massage the hips across the floor. Now take happy baby again. Any last movement to set yourself up to rest. And as you move towards Shavasana, you can also choose to take legs up the wall. If you're close to an open wall space and you know that you like L or legs up the wall, it's another great restorative shape. And lie with your palms turned up, your legs long. You can cover yourself with a blanket, make yourself really comfortable. Close your eyes and rest. Receive a deeper breath. Wiggle your fingers on your toes. Rock your head from side to side. Reach your arms up overhead and stretch your body long. Stretch out through your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees and roll to the side. And press yourself up to a good seat. Bring your hands together at your heart. And bow your head to your heart. Release your hands to your lap. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope this practice was of service, and I look forward to connecting with you in the coming weeks.